All right, Jalen, your thoughts and this whole thing about players tweeting other players about availability or coming to join them, what have you.
Via free agency, I love when players control their narrative. When LeBron James chose to leave Cleveland to join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, whatever group text they were on, we did not know about it. When Kevin Durant decided to leave OKC to join the Golden State Warriors, there was nothing put on IG. There was nothing tweeted about it. He just took control of his own destiny. When you're a free agent, you have that right. But as an NBA collective, I promise you, they're going to stop players from doing this.
How?
Because it comes off as public tampering. Remember, as an organization, if you're Minnesota, you're still trying to sell tickets. You're still trying to sell jerseys of Karl-Anthony Towns today, even if they're going to trade him tomorrow. That's why you never go to a player and let them know that you're about to move him. You just move him because you want to get all of you can out of him. And again, these two guys played together in college. I think it'd be terrific if they're able to team up and play in the league. By the way, if you're Minnesota, you cannot trade Karl-Anthony Towns for the #1 pick.
Why not?
You cannot, because that would be a bad deal. That would be a terrible decision.
But what about the idea that things aren't going well there? Something's up.
I saw that in this year's playoff. One of the things we talked about was Karl-Anthony Towns' lack of productivity. And I showed on this program how he was being used. He was being used 15 to 18 feet away from the bucket, shooting fallaways as opposed to attacking. So again, I like the fact that this bromance is happening because these are terrific young talents. But I guarantee you, the NBA is going to stop players from tweeting and IGing each other about joining forces.
I have so many thoughts on this. First and foremost, the idea that liking a tweet has become the new form of get me out of here right now.
It is.
Literally, I like that tweet, and now we can, it's so efficient, it's fantastic. It's a perfect example of life in 2018. The other piece is, if the Minnesota Timberwolves trade Karl-Anthony Towns for basically anything, they will spend the next 15 years regretting it and trying to find the next Karl-Anthony Towns. There are two kinds of teams in the NBA, ones that have Karl-Anthony Towns and ones that are dying to get Karl-Anthony Towns. I would get rid of everyone before I would get rid of Karl-Anthony Towns, and that includes Wiggins, and it includes the coach, and it includes Jimmy Butler, and it includes anybody else. I think there are a bunch of really good players. I think he's a good coach. I'm not knocking them all, but I'm saying if there's an issue right now, I side, if I'm them, keep Towns and do whatever else you have to do.
I don't have a problem. As far as the tweeting and everything, I don't have a problem with it. If a kid's going to make a life decision based on an emoji, like that's a him problem, don't you think? I mean, I don't think that's something you regulate or govern if you're the NBA. It shouldn't matter. They're just friends tweeting at each other about, hey, that'd be cool if you came and played here. I don't think it means anything, nor does it have any effect.
In some ways, I think it's almost good for the league in the Mark Cuban all publicity is good publicity kind of realm. Like, it just gets people talking in a positive way. I understand what you were saying, but there is a part of me that also thinks, like, the NBA storylines, which play out on social media regularly throughout the year, are kind of a good thing.
Let me personalize that for you then. So you guys have friends that work at other networks. Imagine if a fan sent out a tweet and say, oh, Michelle Beadle or Mike Greenberg will look good working with X amount of talent for X amount of network. You're not going to like it, though.
Okay, let me back up. I have liked them before when I was somewhere else.
Before.
Number one. Number two, I don't think that ultimately makes up one's mind. If somebody were to say, hey, you look good with so-and-so and so-and-so, unless that was even something I was contemplating, that's just a tweet. It doesn't matter. There's so many other factors that go into a decision like that. I didn't
say it would make up your mind.
Oh, but it's for public consumption.
I didn't say it would make up your mind. I said you wouldn't like it.
Why wouldn't I like it?
Because you wouldn't want your employers to see you liking somebody else saying you look good in another network. Would you like it?
Maybe. Because there's strategy involved. If Karl-Anthony Towns is truly upset with whether he wants a coaching change or he doesn't like the way the team is set up, then yes, this is a very good 2018 version of passive aggression that has an effect.
It sort of gives you plausible deniability. You can demand a trade without demanding a trade.
I didn't say anything.
You can always say, all I did was like a tweet, but the reality is it has the same effect. I understand what you're saying. I don't think you're wrong, but I actually think in the big picture it's good for the NBA.